So I'm going around Shepparton today to see how everyone is spending their day, because Australia Day is also known as Survival Day. This day truly is the best day growing up, like when you're a teenager and everything, party of the year, long weekends, middle of summer, like sweet as. Yeah, you don't learn Aboriginal history. I didn't learn any Aboriginal history. And then you kind of leave high school and you kind of like drip fed just like little bits of true history, or like also history. Going first to Queen's Gardens, to the William Cooper Memorial Statue, where there is going to be some Indigenous led talks.
Yeah.
And it's a morning session. Also, it's in the morning. When you're a kid learning about history, you're literally just taught about the arrival of the colony.
I'm here today on January 26th at the so-called Queen's Gardens. We call it the Uncle William Cooper Gardens, while the rest of Australia celebrating Australia Day. You know, this day is a day of mourning for us.
What is the harm in us changing the 26th to either the 25th or the 27th or the 28th?
To celebrate this date without acknowledging its impact is to ignore the pain and the resilience of the first peoples of this land. And each year we dread this day and the racism and ignorance that comes with it.
I'm a proud Rumballara Premiership hero.
As the Order people, our position is we hold this as a day of mourning, and we'll continue to activate ourselves in a way that recognises that, and we'll do that based on our sovereign rights to be able to do that. We will continue to lobby others to see the light in terms of, hey, you're wanting to hold something that's total opposite spectrum of things, which is a celebration on a day where we're actually talking about the origins of mass genocide of Aboriginal people. And it's not to say that people are celebrating that, but it's the fact that there are celebrations that people want to hold on to the point where they feel that that's more valuable than actually just taking that day to sit back and maybe reflect on how can we understand the complexities of the pain of the past and carry a way forward that's considerate and respectful of that.
Say if the date was changed, what would this day be like?
This date was changed, it'd show acceptance of the traditional owners of this country. You know, right now it feels like the rest of Australia that ain't willing to change this date are saying, you know, we don't care. We don't care about what you went through. We don't care, you know, what yous want. We don't care what yous value.
So that little party started is called Burn Australia Burn, and you can, you know, it's not an instruction, but you know.
Country is the place that nurtures so many of us, and whether we are from here, whether we are Yorta Yorta, whether this is the land that has held us and our family and our ancestors for thousands of generations, or whether we are just now making our stories on this place. It's the stories that we tell that make us strong.
My name's Colin Walker. I've never ever left Cummeragunja, and I've been blessed to know great people, elders before me, who fought for the rights of us, which are still slowly coming through, and I don't know whether they will. I'm a sad man in times because I lived under the Aboriginal Protection Board. When the Aboriginal people are going to be free on their own land, I'm not a free man. Can't go fishing and hunting, which I do, but supposed to have licences. And I say, no, you show me a licence that my great-great-grandfather wrote that I can't fish and hunt in my traditional land. I said, it's invisible ink, so don't come to me talking shit. We are from Canberra, we are the team. We can't be beaten, that's easily seen. At the end of the season, you'll know the reason. We are the Canberra team. I want you young people and you young women to look after one another. That's a great thing I want to see done. Thank you, I've been talking too long.
Yeah, I'm full of mixed emotions about what today is. It's Survival Day. It's Invasion Day. And it's a day of mourning. And you know, I woke up this morning and I'm angry and I'm sad. But I have a lot to be proud about. I cannot celebrate a day that reminds me of genocide, stolen land and the ongoing harm that we experience as First Nations people because of colonisation. I can't celebrate that. However, I will celebrate survival. I will celebrate resilience. I'll celebrate our resistance. I'm proud of those.
The destruction that began on Gadigal and surrounding lands in the 1700s directly connects to the destruction that began to occur here in the mid-1800s. This is no separations of these experiences through the veins of the country that connect us all. The sacredness within Waka from place to place. Please pass this on to Council, and we would like you to start the process of our messages from all our people here and through our stick tour as well. Take back and fight and campaign through our community. Thank you, Sam.
I cannot speak for the whole of Council, but I can speak for myself, and I will say that I am committed to continuing to raise your voices whenever I can, to showing up and standing with you always, and that when I am alone in the room where I have power, I will make sure I am acting for you in the way that you want me to. I'm so grateful and thankful for this message, and I will absolutely take this to Council and fight for it.
Each year the nation chooses to open up old wounds and rubbing salt into them. We can't change history, but we can learn from it. Changing the date of Australia Day would create a pathway towards unity grounded in truth. So changing the date is not about assigning guilt to non-Indigenous Australians, but about fostering empathy and respect for the true history of this land. And it's a step toward building a nation that embraces our diversity, but also our First Peoples right across this country. So we need a new date, one that unites rather than divides. One that reflects shared values of inclusivity and respect and the celebration of our culture that predates 1788 by tens of thousands of years.
I'm personally supportive of us continuing to celebrate the date on the 26th of January. I think that Australia is more than the sum of its parts. Obviously, there's an Indigenous culture that existed and continues to exist, and we should continue to encourage to thrive. The colonisation by the British, I think, was an important thing in Australia. It's brought a lot of good things, even though there were some injustices at the time. And since then, we've had people from all over the world come here and celebrate Australia and make Australia what it is, and Shepparton's, Greater Shepparton's particularly, being the beneficiary of that. So I think it's a time for us to come together. We can disagree on some of these things, but hopefully we move towards a more united country.
Okay, if Indigenous people found it difficult on this day, what would you suggest?
Well, it's interesting. If you ask a question about Indigenous people, I mean, we're all individuals. Everyone's got a different view. I don't think we fall into opinions based on our ethnicity. There are some Indigenous people who have a certain view on Australia Day and like celebrating it. There are others who don't, and there are some people from Anglo-Celtic background who like celebrating Australia Day, and a smaller minority, I think, who disagree with it. So I don't, it's the individual freedom of expression, but we're a democracy, and that means that in the end, we work out what most people think is appropriate, and that's the way we go forward, trying to be respectful of everyone's opinions.
I went to a Catholic school. There were no Aboriginal people there, to my knowledge. Didn't learn anything about Aboriginal culture or people. You're so disassociated with the Aboriginal people that when you see one and you don't learn anything about the history or the culture, that when you see someone, it's like literally like, who are you? Like, oh, you're that person we sometimes reference, but like I have no understanding of you. This is like from when I was a kid perspective. And all of a sudden you can just Google like anything, like Gippsland massacre, genocide here, genocide here.
Across here, building a site on a burial site. We go over to Benalla, another massacre. Murchison, another massacre site.
Massacre here, and it's just relentless. Oh, we need to just like at least acknowledge that. But then how do you celebrate on a day that's just like, yeah, this day started genocide?
It's everyone's business, not just an Aboriginal thing.
Born and raised here, so many memories, so many stories being told when we were young by leaders like Uncle William Cooper, Uncle Doug, Auntie Marge Tucker, and Uncle Jack Patton. And like Uncle Bobby said, I was a real shy, timid kid, anxiety-ridden. I still am at times, but when I feel those times of shyness and weakness, I pull upon, leaders like these fellas that paved the way for us. So, yeah, I hope he's like this. Give me my power, it's mine. Let the black excellence shower, it's time. Label us too political, why? Cause I tell the truth, but don't lace it with lies. Give me a break and read between the lines. I do whatever it takes to bring the facts to life. Relax, you still got your stolen land, you still got your family ties. That's been prospering and producing dollar signs. So crack the smile, my people being losers, dispossessed, depressed, and we die before you die.
We acknowledge the allies here who support our views of January 26. In fact, in the same letter our grandfather wrote, believing that there is a spark of human kindness in nearly every heart, and knowing that the vast majority of Australian people in general need only know what my people have suffered and are suffering to bring the relief long sought and now much overdue. We would like to acknowledge the leaders who have organised this gathering today and enabled a space for us to come together and reflect on the legacies of resistance, persistence and cultural integrity. Thank you.
Just to let us know, we here to grow. Just to let us know, we feel at home. Just to let us know, we here to grow. Just to let us know, we feel at home. Black, loud and proud, you hear that sound, shake it to your core.
Thanks very much.